Welcome in, I'm Artress, and in this video we're going to be revisiting Yellow Purple Charlotte Pudding from OP08 now that there's a little bit of more support that's been released in OP11 that actually I think makes her quite viable. As a reminder for what her ability is, it's when attacking you may turn the top 2 life cards of your life face up and add up to 1 Dawn card from your Dawn deck as rested, so you have a built-in ramp engine into your leader, which is very powerful. It does come with some downside, of course, flipping life, giving information to your opponent, and you cannot use the ability if you don't have back-to-back life turned down, so you can use it once, but you do have ways to flip things around, which we'll get to in a bit. But before we go over the deck list, if you're new to the channel, please make sure to drop a sub and also give the video a thumbs up if you enjoy it. It helps out the channel so much. Thank you all for the support. Additionally, if you'd like to talk about the One Piece card game outside of the YouTube comments, make sure to join the Discord community. The link for that is in the description below. So starting off, we have 2 Charlotte and Nana. This is a 1-cost, 1000 power blocker. The situational blocker, you have to have a character other than a Nana with the Big Mom Pirates type on the field, which you have plenty of, so most times this will be a blocker. Unless you play it down early game, chances are it will be a blocker. This deck also has a lot of added consistency with OP11 bringing in some support, which is meant for purple Katakuri, but because Charlotte Pudding has purple in her mix, she is able to take advantage of these cards, one of them being a new searcher of Charlotte Pudding herself. On play, look at the top 5 cards of the deck, reveal up to 1 cost 2 or greater Big Mom Pirates type card and put it into your hand. Then put the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. And this grabs pretty much everything you are going to need. The other part of this ability is activate main Dawn -1, then rest this character, look at the top card of your opponent's deck. There are times where this can come in handy. This effect isn't too useful, but it does come in handy from time to time just to give you that little bit of extra information into what your opponent has in hand. Then we're running 2 of the 2-cost Katakuri from OP08. It's an activate main. You may trash this character. If your leader has the Big Mom Pirates type, play up to 1 Charlotte Katakuri from your hand that has a cost of 3 or greater and a cost less than or equal to the number of Dawn your opponent has. So this card is going to be able to cheat out some of your bigger bodies, your Katakuri blockers, or the one that puts an 8 cost in life. You can use that for that ability. This card I would like to maybe increase to 4, but I do find it a bit gimmicky at times, and you are going down pretty low in hand size by using this ability. I'm running 2 of the new Charlotte Brûlée from OP11. This reads, on play, you may add the top card of your life cards to your hand. If your leader has the Big Mom Pirates type, add up to 1 active Dawn card from your Dawn deck. This is a backup way to help you ramp. Sometimes your opponents, they don't want to swing into you for maybe the first turn or 2 because they don't want you to be able to double ramp with your leader ability. And so in order to be able to mitigate that, you can actually play out this Brûlée and help unplug your life and also ramp in the process. I do have it at 2 of. You might want to run it more if you do find yourself being starved out, but I do think that most opponents will attack into you, and so this card is not necessarily as needed in those situations, but the good thing here is it's searchable, it has a 1k counter, and it does provide you that backup plan in case you need it. Next, I'm running 4 of the 6-cost Katakuri from OP08. This whole card is what the deck is basically centered around outside of the 10-cost Big Moms. This card will be able to allow you to ramp up to 10 by turn 4, so ideally you go first, you use your leader ability to be able to ramp up to 6, then your opponent swings back at you. You have 2 flipped up life. One of them will be back in your hand then if you take the hit. You should always take the hit. Then you play this 6-cost Katakuri because you have 1 life that is face up. It flips it face down, you ramp up 1, then you swing with your leader ability and ramp up again so you can get to 10 by turn 4. That's the whole point of this deck, to ramp up as fast as possible, and this card is the card that will help you do it. I mentioned the 8-cost Katakuris. This is the best one from OP11, being a blocker that restands 2 Big Mom Pirates type character cards with a cost of 3 or more, and then you can actually add a Dawn card from your Dawn deck as rested at the end of the turn, so you're able to at least use some Dawn minusing effects maybe later in the game that don't really hurt you because of the fact that you can get the back with this blocker. Of course, it's a blocker that can be really hard to interact with as well, so this is a really good card for all those reasons. Then I have 1 of the 9-cost Linlins that heals in the deck. This is just a good anti-aggro measure. This deck really does struggle against decks that go really wide, and so this Linlin can help with that. If you notice your meta has a lot of aggro, you might want to increase this card and take out some other components. One of those components you might want to take out is the 10-cost Rush Big Mom. This card is pretty good as just a follow-up play to the other 10-cost Big Mom. The fact it has Rush is really good. The second half of the effect isn't super relevant to you. Dawn -5, and you can declare cost. Reveal a card from the top of your opponent's deck. If the card is the same cost as the declared cost, then your leader gets up to 2,000 power during the turn. You do have to Dawn -5 for that and get a little bit of luck involved. You do have to Dawn -5 for that, and there is some luck involved, of course, but that is an option. Like I said, though, if you do find more aggro in your meta, you might want to just decrease this and increase this instead. Then we have another set of searchers. This one's been out for a little while since OP03. Just looking at the top 4, grabbing a Big Mom Pirates type card other than Pudding. And you can also grab a Sanji as well, and then put it in the hand. So that's pretty nice. The Sanji you can grab is this 2K Sanji, which sometimes is a viable play to put down on your 2-Dawn turn so that you can at least be able to take the top card of your life and start drawing at that point. This can also help with your leader ability as well. One of the best new additions from OP11 is the 2-cost 2K counter 2000 power Zeus. On play, you may add 1 card from the top or bottom of your life cards to your hand, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 5 or less. This helps you in a couple of ways, being able to clear some board, also being able to unplug the top life if it is flipped up and you need to use your leader ability. So this Zeus has a couple of different options. Very nice, of course. And then if you are able to play this out, sometimes you can put it back into life with cards like the 8-cost Katakuri. Since we are in yellow, I do think that it's worth running Capone Beige as a set of 2K counters just to be able to prevent extra attacks that might be coming through. You never know when the Beige will appear in life. Sometimes it can win you games. So as a result, we have it in the deck as a 4-of. The 8-cost Katakuri that I was mentioning with Zeus is this 8-cost Katakuri. It gets a little confusing when you have a lot of the same cost characters and the same name, but the one that I'm talking about is this one that puts an 8-cost, whether it's on your side of the field or your opponent's, into their life face up. So you can, if you use a Zeus, put it back into your life and get it back in the hand eventually, but most of the time you're going to be using this to try to remove things on the opponent's side of the board. And of course, we're running 4 of the 10-cost Big Mom from OP03. This card has just been a menace since its release. I know a lot of people complain about it when it came out and for the sets thereafter, but this card is the whole reason why this deck is even worth running to begin with. Being able to throw this down on turn 4, trashing your opponent's life, healing 1, and then you have a big 12,000 power body to swing with after that is just immense pressure that your opponents likely are not going to be able to answer. If you can find this, try to find as many copies as possible. Of course, you're trying to find Katakuris. These 2 cards are the 2 cards you're going to be looking for whenever you're mulliganing or looking for stuff with your searchers. Speaking of searchers, we have a last playset of searchers here with the 1-cost event. We're going to claim the One Piece. It just looks at the top 5 of your deck. It can grab an Animal Kingdom Pirates or a Big Mom Pirates type card and add it to your hand. And then the effect with a trigger is the same thing. So very useful if it does come out of life. As you can see, there's a lot of consistency here because we have 12 searchers in total. So we are able to find our pieces that we need more often than not because of the fact that most of the deck is Big Mom Pirates types. Then to deal with all of the pressure or maybe some of like the mid-range threats, we have 2 Hakai Ocean Sovereignty, a 6-cost event that says main Don -2. If your leader has the type of either Animal Kingdom Pirates or Big Mom Pirates, in it, KO up to 2 of your opponent's characters with a cost of 6 or lower. So this is kind of like a Gravity Blade, but more specifically for like Animal Kingdom Pirates or Big Mom Pirates types. You do have to Don -2, which is a little bit of a hindrance if you are trying to ramp up to 10 fast. So this is a pretty good play if you are on 10. Maybe you don't want to play your Big Mom quite yet because you need to answer some threats. You can play this instead and then use what's on the board to apply some more pressure after that. And then to round it up, we are running 1 Gum Gum Red Hawk. This is just a 1-cost event that you can use for main. You can either pay 4 for the main event, which will be able to KO a cost of 5 or less on your opponent's side of the field, regardless of what the cost is currently. It has to be the base cost for it to matter. And then the other part of it is a counter event for your leader only that gives you plus 3,000 power. So that's only for 1, which is really, really nice because of the flexibility here. We've seen plenty of these cards start popping up here and there, being able to either have the flexibility of a main event or being able to have the counter event for protection. So as you can see, Pudding is pretty strong with all of the new support from OP11. I don't think that she's necessarily going to be winning any grand tournaments here and there, but I do think that she takes a pretty interesting spot in the meta against some of the top players. Obviously, Blue Purple Luffy hasn't been performing as well as we might have expected it to. We definitely saw its rise in the East, and in the West, I think a lot of people are trying to figure out how to beat it. So as a result, we haven't seen it do nearly as well. But I think Pudding does really well into that leader. I think that she will struggle against decks like Green Yellow Law or maybe even Green Purple Luffy. So if you have plenty of those in the meta, you might not want to play this leader. But regardless, I think this leader is very fun. I used to not like playing this leader or even playing against this leader for that fact. But I find myself, whenever I get a little bit frustrated in the sim when I'm playing like some of my main decks, I'm like, let me just have some fun here. And I think Pudding is the deck for me when I just want to relax a little bit and have a little bit of fun. So that being said, let's take this list into the sim and see how it does. All right, Blue Purple Luffy, the matchup we're looking to get. This hand is, it's all right. We have a couple searchers. We have the 6-cost Katakuri in it. We do have a 10-cost Rush Linlin, which we would prefer to have the one that banishes life, especially in this matchup, but I think this hand is pretty solid. So let's go ahead and just play it out and see what we can get off the top. We'll grab the 8-cost Katakuri blocker. That's going to be quite the nuisance for blue-purple Luffy to try to overcome. We'll do another search here. We grab a 10 cost, and then we'll play out. We'll swing first, and then we'll play out the Anana blocker. You always want to swing first if that's the case, because of the fact that they might have something that could either bottom deck it with like Red Rock or Gravity Blade. So you want to make sure that the blocker sticks on the field at least. And then here, we're going to always take this hit. If they're hitting us, we're always taking it, especially if we can use the 6 cost, which we will. We'll go ahead and ramp up, then swing 6, and then use the leader ability, ramp up again. And now we're going to be able to be playing any of our cards for the next turn on 10. We can play any of these Linlins if we want, but ideally we play the one that trashes life. And then we follow up with the rush one. Although this is a little bit awkward because of the fact that now they technically have a 12,000 power body. Let's go ahead and counter out of this one with the 2 cost Katakuri. And then this one I think we might just take. I want to hold on to the Anana on the field just in case. And I think what we can do here is we can swing our leader into the Zorojuro. They might counter out of it. If they do, we'll swing our Katakuri into it, and then we'll play the Big Mom. We could also play the 9 cost as well. That could be an option. Playing the 9 cost Big Mom, putting the Bond Clay into life, and then playing the 10 cost the following turn. But I'd rather just go ahead and play the 10 cost, because that's what we're here for. I want to be able to show off the good curve here. Even if they're able to swing with the, I mean, they will, with the Bond Clay. It doesn't matter too much. I'm taking 1 hit, or they might be going after the Katakuri. But either way, let's see what they do here. They could, on their play, like they might be able to play out a Sanji into a Big Mom. And if they are able to do that, then they could put the Katakuri into life, which is pretty good. Pretty solid play. And they probably are going to swing the Bond Clay into life if that is the play that they have. Otherwise, if that's not the play they have, they might just swing it into the 6 cost Katakuri, which we will then block, and then force them to put more Dawn onto their leader in order to swing into me. But after that, our follow-up play would be to take out this Bond Clay with our leader. And then I probably would like to just chain 10 costs. I think that's nice. Okay, so they probably don't have the 9 cost Linlin, or if they do, maybe they're just trying to get the blocker out of the way. Either way, that's an easy block for me. And if they decide to heal me, then I'm okay with that. They do have the 9 cost. Okay, so I think that's fine. The play that they made wasn't the bad play. It wasn't like a misplay or anything like that. They're probably just seeing if they could get free value, getting rid of the body without having to put it into life. Maybe they had another play outside of the 9 cost Linlin that they could have played instead, but they want to get this body off the field. Just going to give them a 2k because we want to stay at 4 life. If they're going to heal us, then we're going to take that absolutely. We'll go 5 into 1. This will likely just go down. Don't think they're going to want to protect it. And then we'll go 12 into lead, and then we'll follow up with the other 10 cost, putting them probably down to 0 unless they want to drop a lot of cards from hand. Could be a Gum Gum Giant plus like a 2k, 1k. But I think at that point, you just take the hit, then you pass the turn. We're in a pretty good position here. There's really not much that they can do. They could try, I mean, they could like Red Rock something and then hit face, but I don't think they're putting any Dawn on their 9 cost. Both of these 10 costs are just too powerful, and they have to block her up, I think. If they just go for a 9 cost Linlin play and they heal up 1, that doesn't really do much for them because of the just the amount of pressure that's coming their way with a couple of 12k bodies. They could also extend the game as well a little bit by putting a few blockers out, maybe Red Rocking, put a blocker out, but that would take most of their Dawn. So I think we're in a pretty good spot here. So they grab a Nami blocker off of their leader ability. Figured they might as well play it. That's fine. Bottom decking a couple cards here. So yeah, I think all we need to do is just be able to get past this Nami. We could play Hakai Ocean Sovereignty and just take the easy way out. We could also just brute force it as well. So we have a couple of different options. We could also, no, we can't Gum Gum Red Hawk actually because of the fact that both of us have to be at 5 total together. So I think, yeah, I think the Hakai Ocean Sovereignty is probably the best bet. We'll go ahead and take these hits. Cone Beige, that's fine. If they have another blocker, then yeah, 100% we're using that, the 6 cost event. But I don't think, I mean, who knows? Maybe they left all of this Dawn open because they have Gum Gum Giant. And that's the problem with that card specifically is like, you just don't know what they have. And they could get out of ridiculous situations easily. Even better yet, we do have a Zeus. We could just play the Zeus out. I actually think this is probably the best play we could make. But is it the smartest play? Probably not. Let's go ahead and just see if we can get some cards out of hand first. See how they react. And we could just play it very safe. Like we could just end up swinging 6, 12, 12, play down the 8 cost Katakuri, and then have 1 open for Gum Gum Red Hawk. And then the rest of the cards are going to be able to... Under Bagua, interesting. And the rest of the cards are going to be able to be having counter on them anyway, so we should be fine. So I think that's probably the smarter play. Yeah, they've snap block, of course, makes sense. We'll go ahead and just play the Katakuri, restand the Linlins, and then pass the turn. So yeah, it's going to be really difficult for them to get past this. We might have been able to pressure a lot harder that turn at the cost of like taking a life or spending a lot of Dawn, but I think this is the smarter play overall. Because like, yeah, they can probably survive that turn, but are they going to be able to survive another turn of that onslaught? I really don't think so. Another Linlin comes down. I mean, yeah, this is pretty much over. But especially if they put one of the puddings in life. I mean, sometimes the opponent will put like a card of mine into life, but I just, yeah, that's what I thought. Don't do that. Don't put that in life. Just leave me at 2. It's okay. Okay, we're just going to go ahead and, I mean, we could block this one. Free block, because then what do? Go after the Katakuri, we can just protect it. If they go after my face, we'll just take it. Doesn't really matter. And then here, we'll be able to pressure really hard. We could just swing Linlin first. We could swing Katakuri first. Doesn't really matter. I think Linlin's going to be the better choice to swing first anyway, because this makes them have the answer immediately up front. They don't. Then we can just pressure with 6 lead. This is how I would do it probably in a tournament. So we're going to do it that way. Here we'll go 10 with the Katakuri. This will require them to usually probably either dump 4 cards from hand, or as we can see, the Gum Gum Giant's coming out. So then the rest of the Dawn can go on the Linlin, and they will not be able to protect themselves from that. So let's leave 1 open just in case. But yeah, 19, 18 would have been the same thing either way. Green Yellow Law is a matchup that I kind of fear going against because of the fact that they just have a pretty wide board of mid-range sized bodies that you can't really respond to very well, especially when they start putting things like the 2-cost beige blocker on the field in yellow. So I think that this matchup will be probably a struggle. We'll just do our best to see what we can get and maybe fight the best fight we can, but I'm going to be honest, could be a losing matchup here. But anyway, let's go ahead and grab the 10 cost because that is probably our best bet at some way of winning this matchup. We find what we need from life at least, so that's pretty good. I think this matchup might also be dependent on the 9-cost Linlin a little bit more, so unfortunately, we only have 1 in the deck, but at least we have the 1 that we need in hand. So that's at least a positive thing here, I guess. And then on top of that, we do have a double 8-cost Katakuri blocker with the 2-cost. So we could be able to cheat out one of them and then play the other one when we're at 10 Dawn. Just dependent on where they're at, of course, because they need to be on 8 for that to come out. So that's just something to keep in mind. And then here, I think we just swing 5 into lead, use leader ability. And I think I'll just play out this 2-cost, and then I'll play out the Anana and then pass, leaving 1 open for no particular reason. 5 or 6 doesn't really matter against them. I would rather just try to bait cards out of hand, but usually Green Yellow Law will take the first hit anyway. So like I mentioned, swinging 5 or 6 doesn't really matter. Cavendish coming down, pretty solid card for them. I wish I had an answer, but we'll just have to let it be, I guess. This is like one of those cards you should answer as soon as you possibly can, but unfortunately, we will have to let it sit there for a second. So they're going to use their leader ability. This is, I guess, a blind rip, right? They didn't stack this X-Drake here, and this X-Drake is pretty interesting. I actually kind of like it, being able to rest was a 5-cost. So yeah, makes sense. Most of the time, opponents are going to try to get rid of the 2-cost Katakuri if they can. And if they decide to swing the Kid and Killer with it, I think we just give them a 1K. Yeah, we're going to block here. 3 into 2. I give him a 2K because I want to be able to use a 6-cost Katakuri. Oh, and we have a Zeus. Okay, we're actually, I mean, we could do a couple things here. We could actually just go ahead and ramp up. So we're going to be at 8 into 10 next turn. We could swing 5 into this Kid and Killer. And I think we just play the Zeus. We'll take the bottom life, getting a Zeus in return. And then they have 1 card on the field now. So we're in a decent spot. Doing the best we can here with what we have. I think we just give them the 2K. We need to stay as healthy as possible. In comes the 7-cost Law. Lucky. And then here, depending on what they play out, I mean, Bonnie could be a really good... Oh, no, it's a Bonnie. Oh, so unlucky. We'll go ahead and just play out the Linlin then. If that's the case, go ahead and heal, put the Bonnie into life. Swing 5, swing 7, and then this next turn, what we can end up doing is playing a 10 cost if we're able to. It just depends if they have this Bonnie, if they're able to get it back into hand, or at least put another one on top of life and use the ability to bring it out. If they don't, then we can play the 10 cost Big Mom, because then all of our Dun won't be stunned, or at least one of the Dun won't be stunned. But if that's the case, then we'll go ahead and play the 8 cost Katakuri, and then cheat out the other one with the 2 cost, if it's on the field, of course. Go ahead and play the 1 cost Luffy, that they bounce back to hand, grabbing the, that's the blocker beige, so we got our 9 cost Linlin effect off, and the Zeus off in time, so we're good there. And then I think from here, we just kind of have to hope for some counter. Okay, 9 and a 7, we'll let that go through, of course. I'm not gonna, I can't defend it, and there's no point in pretending to defend it, but yeah, we'll have to see what they do here. Oh no, no. They're taking the 3 cost Bonnie. They're probably gonna take the 5 cost Bonnie that's in the bottom of their life. Yep. Probably putting it at the top of life. And if they put it at the top of the, oh, yep. Put it at top of life. They'll probably be able to play this and then stun one of the Dawn again, which is quite the nuisance, which means our play has to be the 8 cost Katakuri, but we're going to be going down in hand size pretty low, which is unfortunate, of course. So we'll see what we can get here. Swinging 8 with the beige. This is not the worst. We actually have a Gum Gum Red Hawk to kind of protect ourselves, but I mean, there's a world where they could just Hody Jones it. So we aren't able to use that. We'll go 9 and 5. They might take it. They just block. And then we'll go ahead and play Katakuri. Use this effect to play at the other Katakuri. And then restand this 9 cost. We have 1 open, 2 blockers. And I mean, this is a really good opportunity to play Hody Jones. So if they have it, which they do, they'll rest both of the blockers. And honestly, that's probably the smartest play anyway, because usually I don't have any 1 cost events, but I do. But either way, they should be able to get through this. 7, 7, 8, 9, considering I only have a couple of cards in hand. So yeah, if this other card, this 10 cost was a 2k, it'd be fine. But yeah, it wasn't. This is a close match. But yeah, Hody Jones just puts in a lot of work. All right, against Enel, I think I just want to take first. I think most matchups I want to take first anyway. But let's go ahead and get a search off. Let's grab a Linlin. Even though we're passing up the 6 cost, I think just having as many 10 cost in this matchup is just more important in general. Maybe we can find another 6 cost along the way. We don't, so we'll go ahead and just grab a 2k here. Swing 5. Get a leader ability off, and then we can play the Sanji. I think it's fine playing the Sanji, because on 4, they usually don't have anything to get rid of a body. They could play Zeus, which is totally fine. If they play Zeus, don't really mind that. I'm just going to swing 9. We'll go ahead and take it. And then I guess we'll just get another search off. Guess it's going to be fine here. We'll go ahead and grab the 2 cost. And I think we swing 5 with the Sanji. We'll go ahead and draw a card, replacing what's on top. And we're going to be at 6, so we could swing and use the leader ability to ramp up to 7. So we could actually end up playing the 9 cost. If we're able to get it, we could play the 8 cost. Anyway, we'll fill out the field with the 2 cost and the 1 cost. I don't really think there's too much they can at least swing into. I mean, they might want to just get this 2k counter off the field, the Sanji. But if they do, there's a world where I can just block. I mean, we'll see what we do. And then 6 into... Is it the Sanji? Or is it, if it's face, I'm going to protect it. Okay, I think I just protect this one. Yeah, I think that's fine. And then this next turn, they're going to be at... Well, I'm going to be able to play an 8 cost, but I think the better 8 cost here would be to play out the blocker. And then we'll just pass, because they're going to be at 1. I can't really break through at that point. So yeah, it is what it is. This could be a... Kid? Okay, I was going to say, it's probably Kid or Katakuri of their own, but a lot of Enels have switched over to just using the Katakuri, or rather the Kid, because of the fact that it just trashes life is just so powerful. So that's pretty nice to be able to snap block there. And then here, we're just going to be able to play the 10 cost, be able to chain them out, and we can also play a Katakuri as well. So let's see what they do. Actually, this is a very complicated play. Let's go ahead and swing 5, they counter out. Swinging 8. Is this a smart move on my play? Probably not. They block, which I think I'm very thankful for. Let's go ahead and just put the 8 cost on the top of life, and then we're going to play the Linlin to trash. So it's like we had removal for it. So that's pretty nice overall. Our board's looking pretty good. Their hand is looking pretty fat, but I think we're going to be okay here, especially if they start chaining 10 costs of their own. We can just block one of them with the Enel, so that's fine. They just end up using the Yamato to heal up and then getting rid of the Sanji. We'll go ahead and snap block with the 8 cost. And then here we swing 5. Just play another 10 cost. 10 costs are going to be a pain for them to deal with. Let's go. I think it's fine to go ahead and just swing into them first so that they use their leader ability first and then we can trash. But I think they're probably going to counter out of this one, yeah. And then they could block this one with the 5 cost Sanji. They don't. Fine. If they have a trigger like the 0 cost event, that could be a pain, but it's okay. Oh man, get rid of one of those 10 costs. We love to see it. Now they're at 0. They have to heal up. They're swinging 5, which is pretty indicative that they have the some 10 cost of some sort, which Enel is definitely the one we don't want to see, but I think they're just going to pressure face. We'll go ahead and block with the 1 cost. Now they start losing cards out of hand, and we have a pretty big board, which is pretty nice. So let's go ahead and swing 7. See if they give us a 2 and a 1. They do. Let's go 8, 8, 12, 12. It's going to be harder to counter out of these. We also have an option to, if they go down to 0, we can Zeus. Zeusing might have been better here, but either way, if they block, then we just put all the rest on. Big Mom and swing 20, because I don't think they're... Oh my god, they were so bricked up with 10 costs. But yeah, there's no way that they're breaking through at that. All right, against Buggy, I will always choose first. And this is a pretty solid hand, because we are able to have a couple searchers to find the pieces we need. Nothing really great in this opening hand, but I think I might grab the 3 cost just in case, so that I can use the effect to ramp up, because we don't have a 6 cost quite yet. We're also looking for the 10 cost Trash KO Mom, or I guess Trash Heal Mom, not KO. So that's another important piece we need to find. We have more searchers to find them with. So, okay, at least we find one of those pieces, and then hopefully a 6 cost, grab it. We have everything we need. This is why we're running 12 searchers, so that we can find everything we need within the first couple of turns. And I think we're set up for success here. We just need them to attack into us this turn, and then we're off to the races. If they don't attack into us, I still think it's fine, because we can play the 3 cost Brûlé. But we really hope that they do swing in, because we can ramp up to 10, and then we're going to be able to fill up our board with 10 costs much faster than they can fill up their board with 5 costs. So that is an important thing to note. They are grabbing a Mihawk off of this 1 cost Mr. 3 Galdino. Kind of an annoyance, because it's going to be harder for me to just do base swings of 5, because they can just block it with this thing for free. So that's going to be at least one way that we can be slowed down a little bit, but I think we'll still be fine. They do swing in. We love to see it. Let's go ahead and play out this Katakuri. Ramp up 1. We'll swing 5 into lead. Ramp up again. And then I think we're going to just play out this pudding and see if we can grab one more 10 cost. Although if we grab another 10 cost, it could be reason for them to pudding us in response, which... That's fine if they want to play pudding on their 6th on turn instead of using their leader ability. Grabbing another 10 cost here, love to see it. So let's see how they respond to what they know in my hand and the amount of Dawn they have left on the field. This could be a 7k lead and then play pudding. But I really think if I was Buggy, I'd probably just try to establish board using leader ability instead. And then just say, okay, you have 10 cost. I realize that they're going to be coming down. It is what it is. We'll try to survive. And it looks like what they're doing. They're pitching out a 7 cost Buggy to play a Mihawk. Although, I think they probably should have just played out the 7 cost Buggy with the Mihawk, but maybe they don't want to lose too many cards in hand. That is something that is a little bit of a problem. And I'm not going to be swinging with anything anyway, so like the 1 cost are not going to be swinging. Not that it matters, because the 3 and 4s are what are going to be stopped anyway, so the 1 cost not swinging doesn't truly matter. I think they're in some trouble here, though, for sure. If they decide to swing with their leader, which they always should, we'll go ahead and give them a 1k counter to stay rather healthy. And then here, we can just swing 5, see if we can bait out the Mihawk. If we can get the Mihawk to block, that means we can pressure it with the Katakuri. And I really like that option, to be able to get more cards out of their hand by pressuring the bodies on their field. I would imagine, though, they probably just take this. I mean, they know that I have 10 costs coming, so maybe they don't want to go down low in life. They might just take this one instead. We'll go ahead and play the 10 cost. And that is looking pretty good. We'll go ahead and see what they have coming up. So they have a 10 cost Buggy. So we probably should expect that to hit the field. And I mean, if they use that, then that means that they're not establishing anything on their board either. So that's fine. They'll probably swing the Mr. 3 Galdino. Here comes the Buggy. They'll swing the Galdino into the pudding. I would imagine that they probably put the rest of the Dawn on the leader and swing into the 6 cost Katakuri, and they might even swing with the Mihawk as well. But either way, my board doesn't really matter as much as their board does, so I'm okay with my board going down as long as I can establish a 10 cost that sticks. 8 into 7, as I imagined, we'll counter out with that. If they did 7, or rather if they did 10 into 7, I think I would have just let that go, to be quite honest, but yeah. We'll go 5 into 5. One could be just a snap block, or it could just be a 1k. I mean, either way is fine with me. We've put them in a really rough position. They just take it. Okay, we're fine with this. 7 into 5, block, 1k. Block 1k. Block 2k. Wow. Okay. Good information there. I'm going to go ahead and just pressure this Mihawk down. I know it's a little excessive, but instead of the 10 cost Big Mom that trashes their life, I'd rather just get their board clear with this 10 cost. Yeah, at that point, they realize it's a pretty lost cause. Like, look at my board. Look at the fact that they have nothing established. Regardless, even if the 7 cost Buggy came down, it didn't really mean much in the end anyway. All right, Battle of the Siblings here. We're going to go first, and this hand is pretty bad, so let's mulligan it. This is much better, having some options and then also being able to search out with this pudding. We'll grab the 10 cost. We have a 6 cost Katakuri ready to go when they do hopefully swing into us to get our leader ability off twice. So then we can follow it up with some other plays as well. So we do have some options here, which is nice to see, a 9 and an 8 cost as well as the 10 cost, but ideally we are able to put down the 10 cost pretty early on and put a lot of pressure on them if that's the case. I think we ramp up much better than they do, although they probably get more bodies out than we do in the long run. So they're using this pudding to grab a Sparrow, which this card is really good for the Katakuri deck. It's kind of like their engine to ramp up pretty easily. We'll play out the pudding 1 cost, and we can only play or grab the 10 cost Linlin with this because it doesn't grab pudding itself. We'll go ahead and just swing 7, see what we get, and we have another search coming off the top of life, so we really love to see that. So maybe we can grab in preparation for the Sparrow that would be coming down in the other turn. Maybe a Zeus if we can get it from this 1 cost event. Maybe the Hakai Ocean Sovereignty. Maybe they don't even swing at all. There's a chance where they're just like, I don't want to give you the trigger. I don't want to ramp you up for your 6 cost Katakuri play. So there's a chance where they might just not even swing. But let's see what they do, of course. And we have to be prepared mentally as far as what they could potentially do. They are playing this 3 cost pudding down. So they are swinging. We love to see it. Thank you so much. They're using the pudding ability to at least ramp up a Dawn and then get their leader ability off. So we are able to... this is a pretty interesting hand. I think the 8 cost is probably a little bit better because I'm not going to be playing the 6 cost just quite yet. And we do have a 9 cost Linlin to be able to answer their Sparrow. So I think that's probably better than grabbing the Hakai Ocean Sovereignty. Let's go ahead and ramp up here. Swing 6 in a lead, ramp up again. And a beige, and it looks like another Rush Linlin in life. So we do have quite a lot of bricks in hand. We have all of these cards in one 1k counter. So I should have left like 1 open for Red Hawk, but it's fine. We'll be fine. We don't need it. But we might. we might actually need it. We'll have to see what they do. I don't want the Sparrow that they're going to be playing to stick on the field, so 9 cost Linlin might actually be the best play this next turn anyway. All right, they're playing down a pudding, getting a search off, and they grab a Katakuri, which that's actually a big problem for me personally, because they can play this down, and then they're able to cheat out probably the 8 cost blocker, right? That's the biggest thing that they have at that point, so that is a little bit of a problem. Actually a huge problem, to be quite honest. And they're probably going to use the pudding, the 3 cost pudding, and swing with it because they can restand it at the end of the turn. That is that's a really good play by them. I was expecting the 5 cost Sparrow to come down, but I think I need to answer this Katakuri instead. If we're able to play out the 8 cost Katakuri, put that one that's on their field to the bottom of life, and then swing in, I think we're probably looking pretty solid. But I don't think now is the time to play 10 cost. I think we need to establish a better board and kind of answer theirs all in one fell swoop. Here they just swing 8 into lead, or I guess rather 9 into lead using their leader ability because they are getting the Dawn back with the pudding. For them, I probably would have just swung maybe, like, actually that makes more sense because if they swing the 3 cost, they know the beige is at top, so it doesn't really matter too much anyway. Let's go ahead and put this Katakuri at the bottom of life. Swing 5 into lead. And we'll go ahead and leave 1 open for Gum Gum Red Hawk. We're going to play 1 for the 1 cost event. So there's no need to put Dawn on anything else here. We are at a low life total, but I think it's fine. Based off of our hand size is pretty nice. We're starting to chip away at them. They don't have a lot of threats on the board. Although this next turn, are they going to be at... No, they're going to be at 9. I was thinking they might be at 10, but they're going to be at 9, so they're not going to be able to play out any rush characters, which is nice. I think we just grab Zeus here. Just grab counter and then pass, because we have a lot of non-counter in hand as is. Here, if they decide to swing at lead, I think we just use our 1 cost event, because like we might not have an opportunity to really play it after that. Because we could, depending on what they play 10 costs. So I think we just have to use it at least sometime during this turn. They are playing the 5-cost Parasparrow this turn, which is fine because then we can answer it with the 9-cost Linlin. So we're just removing their threats with some key pieces on our field, just biding time for when it's like the safest to go ahead and play out our 10-cost here. What would they like to do? Are you going to swing with... I really hope they swing with the 3-cost Pudding. I want to be able to swing into it, but we might not be so lucky. They're thinking about... I mean, they might be doing a really big swing here, which if they do a really big swing into... Yeah, I could protect this. I think it might be worth protecting. I think we're going to go ahead and just do a 2k, 1k, and then keep the Zeus in hand. I think that's more of an important 2k to keep. And what are they going to do with this last Dawn here? Okay, so they're going to swing 5 into lead. I know this is going to seem a little weird, but I'm going to go ahead and just use the 1-cost event because I need to. I'd rather just... I mean, I might be tapping out. Who knows? We'll see. We'll go 5 into 4. Will they let this go? I mean, if they don't, we're just going to continue to bang into it. So I think that's going to be the plan. Just try to get this Pudding off the field. If they let it go, then we go for face. They let it go. So now we go for face. And we'll go ahead and heal up. We'll go 7. We might... Do we want to bluff another Gum Gum Red Hawk? I mean, it doesn't really matter, I guess. It's fine. We could do that. We'll go 8 into lead, and then we'll go ahead and play the Linlin, putting the Parasparrow into life, and then they won't have any board, and we will be in a pretty good spot. So we'll go ahead and pitch the 10-cost Rush Linlin, just keeping the 8-cost blocker Katakuri, just in case we can do any kind of combo with it, or maybe just play it outright. I think that might be a good option, too. I would fully expect for them to swing here, like 6 into lead, and then they probably have the 10-cost Rush Linlin, which is going to be a problem for us to deal with, but I think we might be okay. The first thing, like, the hardest part is, like, whoever drops the 10-cost first, they dropped it first, but I was going to say, whoever drops the 10-cost first is usually in a pretty good spot, so, yeah, they're in a pretty good spot. Yeah, so I guess we'll just have to kind of start racing them now. They should use leader ability here, look at the top of my life, or... So used to the other Katakuri, looking at top of life, looking at the top of my deck, and then here we just swing baselines into them. I'm going to swing this 5 first. It sucks because, like, they do have information of, like, what's going to be put at the top of my life, but it's okay. It is what it is. I probably should have, I mean, playing the 10-cost would have been better so they don't know what is at the top of my life, but now they will, because when I heal... whatever's at the top of my deck will go to the top of life. So, swing 7 into 5. They probably should counter out of this one. Otherwise, they're in a pretty rough spot. Taking 2 hits and then a 10-cost Big Mom coming down. So, yeah, 2k, 1k is probably going to be the best bet for them. They're thinking about it, so they might not even have 2k, 1k. They do have 2k, 1k. Okay. Maybe they just were trying to decide which 1k. But anyway, here they will go down to 1 life. And I think we're in a pretty good spot here because they are trying to play for board. And I think at this point, we can just kind of push for game. So we're in a race that we're well suited to win. The only other downside here would be if they have a second 10-cost Big Mom. But if they have a second 10-cost Big Mom, how are they surviving? How are they surviving a big hit from the 10-cost that I have? So it's a battle of the 10-cost Big Moms, but I have the better one, so maybe I should have held on to the Rush one. All right, playing an Anana, so they don't have the 10-cost Rush Mom. Ragnarok. Interesting choice there. KOing an 8-cost or less for only 5. That's fine. I don't see that card played too often, but it's not too bad, actually. Okay, so they're able to answer the 6-cost, and now they're going to be able to answer the 9-cost by swinging the 10 into it. I'll have to let that go. And then probably put the rest on their leader unless they have, like, maybe more blockers to establish. But yeah, this is, I mean, they've turned it around, actually. They've kind of turned it around. They've put us in an awkward position where they're probably going to not, well, we can't close out the game this next turn. So we'll just have to pressure the face still, I suppose. We have a couple of different plays here. We could swing really big. Yeah, we could swing really big twice and then establish the 8-cost, but only pay 2 for it. That might be a decent option. Let's see what they do. They might just snap block this one. I think they probably should snap yeah, this is an easy snap block. And then here, I'll just swing 7 into lead and save the 1k counter just in case I need it. This way we're eating at their hand a little bit more. And the hits that were really big were probably going to be guaranteed to at least break through some life, where at least this way it makes it a little bit more complicated where we're eating hand, and then if we're eating hand, it makes it easier for us to go for game later on. They take it. So either way, I think this might be the last turn of the game. We'll see what they have coming up. A 5-cost Parasparrow. That's not going to do it. We'll go ahead, and I wish I could restand this pudding, but we were only able to... Oh, they just exited out. Okay, well, that was the game. Okay, against Nami, they choose to go first, which is the correct choice for them. I actually kind of like this hand, and I hope that they don't have any puddings in hand. Ironically enough, pudding against pudding is the worst thing to see. We'll go ahead and grab the 10-cost Big Mom with the 1-cost Searcher, and then I think we can just grab another 6-cost just for counter. So I think that's fine to have. I didn't want to grab too many non-counter cards, because then if I start taking too much life, then it's easier for them to hit that 4-cost pudding and get really good value off of it. So I think we're in a pretty good spot here. Using Hiyori this early usually means that they have like a Kiku Nojo at the top of life that they're putting in here. So I actually might want to counter out of this one with 2 1Ks. Kind of seems weird, I know, but because of that, the fact that they put something in life, I don't want to be at 3 to trigger a Kiku Nojo. So I think we'll just swing 8 into lead and then establish an Anana. We could have done 9 and then really hit them hard for that, that card that they put at the top of their life. But I think that I just want to establish a blocker in the meantime. I think that's probably better here. They do counter out with a leader ability and probably 1 more 2K. So yeah, dropping 2 cards from here. And they definitely want what's in the top of their life to stay there. I might even block with the Anana this turn just so we're like pressuring them to like either lose the value that they had by putting that Kiku Nojo, assumably a Kiku Nojo, in the top of life. Which is kind of annoying for them. Oh, okay, so Cavendish, pretty solid here. I think I just block. Yeah, we'll go ahead and block. And even though that means that we're not, like, getting our leader ability, I guess we could technically be fine without it, because we'll still be able to ramp up to 8, or I guess we're at 10 next turn. So, swinging 7 into 5 here, they're going to have to probably let this one go. They're probably going to have to just take this hit, because they'd have to counter out, like, leader ability plus counter. So, yeah. There's no trigger off of it, so it's not a Satori. So it has to be Kiku Nojo in my opinion. We'll see what they get. Unfortunately though, this Cavendish is going to be living, and Cavendish being on the field definitely hurts. Okay, so Jozu to bounce back the Katakuri, which means that this Cavendish is definitely living. Because I can't swing into it. That's really sad. What I hope for is like a Hakai Ocean Sovereignty based off of the fact that there's a 4 and a 6 on the field. Katakuri's not too bad either. Can answer something at least, but I think the best thing to just do anyway is just get the leader ability procced from them. So pitching a card from hand. They pitched out a 8-cost Kid with the Cavendish swing, which kind of alarming. It means they probably have way more, and that is not what I want to see, especially with my hand not looking very stacked with any counter. So yeah, we'll see what we can get. And they pitch another Kid into using their leader ability. Oof. That's good for me. Double Kid in the trash is definitely what I like to see here. But Linlin coming down and doing some damage. Love to see that. They run probably anywhere from 3 to 4 Red Rock. So I would imagine a Red Rock is probably going to be able to answer the 10 cost. Kind of sad, because now I don't really have anything to answer their board. So they're going to just get the free value off of the Cavendish every turn, because I can't swing into it. And all I can do is swing into their leader. So at some point, if we're able to... Oh, and they're playing a Hiyori. They're probably putting the Kiku Nojo in life that they had to begin with. So... unlucky. Unlucky. I think we just counter out of one of these, and we're going to have to take the next 2 anyway. So, yeah. I think we just have to do the best we can with what we have here. But opponent is playing it well. Opponent is like stacking the board a little bit, getting card draw off, removing things. It's looking rough. Here, I think just have to take it. Okay, nice. We get the 1-cost event. Let's see if we can just grab... I mean, I guess a Searcher's fine. I think a Searcher's fine. Yeah, I mean, we're looking for removal, but I guess we'll just take it. We'll just take the 1-cost... Searcher, so that maybe we can find something a little bit better if we need to. The 2-cost... Actually, the 2-cost Katakuri would have been good. Might have been a better choice in hindsight. We'll go ahead and just rip that Kikunojo off the top. We know it's there. It's been there since like, well, it's technically you've wanted it there since turn 1. So we're getting rid of it here. But anyway, with that 1 cost search event off of life, we would have been able to grab the 2 cost Katakuri, which if that's the case, we would have been able to put one of the cards that they have on the field into their life and then establish a blocker in the same turn. So we might have done that instead. That could have been a better play. Just depends on what they do here. If they have a red rock, that probably would have been the better play. They have another red rock. I shouldn't be surprised because they have been drawing quite a lot with the Cavendish. Ooh, they putting my hand. And actually, this helps me a lot. They gave me another 10 cost. They gave me 2k, which I didn't have. And they gave me an 8 cost just in case I needed to answer something on their field. So, wow. Okay, we're going to counter out of this one. And we'll go down to 2 life here. I think that's fine. I don't think they're going to have a 3rd red rock. I mean, they might, though. Who knows? We'll see. And then here, when they swing 7 into lead, we just take it. We don't have any more counter that we can give to them. I have so many cards in hand. It's insane. Oh, my God. 8 cards in hand. Obviously, this hit is just going to be one where we can just get a free swing in. So they have to drop a card that has counter on it to protect themselves. And then we just hope that they don't have... Just hope that they don't have one more red rock. If they have another red rock, it might actually be game because there's not a real good way for me to break through. If they go like red rock blocker, then yeah, it's like we could Zeus them, but we'll have to see what they do here. They have, okay, so kids actually, we're fine with that. We're fine with them having kid in hand playing it at this point in time because we have enough counter to survive. I think we should have enough counter to survive these hits. Fingers crossed. Let's see what they do. 6 in a lead. Okay, cool. We will take it because we can counter out of the next couple. They're going 5. Okay, we'll give them a 1k here. Doesn't matter. We'll still be able to survive this. We'll survive the 6. Let's go ahead and just take it. Make them think that we're going to be losing this game here. We actually came very close to losing this game. Kind of insane here. But the pudding that they played ended up helping us, which feels good. The pudding helped the pudding, so we love to see it. We'll just follow up with a huge... Well, actually, I mean, we could just swing 7 here. Just to get the leader ability and a 1k out of hand. And then we can put the rest on the Big Mom and swing in. Their hand is probably pretty full of 2ks. They've been sculpting it the entire game. So I think that's... Okay, Cavendish coming up. Doesn't really matter. Just wanted to get that ability off. Yeah, they've been sculpting it. So they could be getting very close here to at least survive. So we'll see what they have. 2k, 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 2k. Is it another one? Oh my god, it was so close. They were 1k off. They were able to sculpt that hand beautifully. But yeah, they played it very well. They had the answers that they needed. It just so happened that the pudding that they played ended up helping me out. Well, in the games that were going first, those turned out to be pretty good. The games we were going second, definitely this deck struggles quite a lot. And as you saw in one of the games that we had against, I think it was Green Yellow Law, yeah, it was a little bit rough there, especially when they start going wide. It becomes very difficult to try to answer that. You can play on the back foot and make some elongated plays where maybe you like extend the game longer than it really should be, but I think that this deck is trying to hit 10 fast and then overwhelm your opponent. But as you can see, this deck is actually somewhat competitive, so it is worth at least trying out, but do be aware of the struggles that the deck has. Overall, though, really happy how the list turns out. Let me know in the comments below, what have you added in? What have you changed? One card that I didn't mention that you might want to actually include would be the 2-cost Viola. That one is actually pretty solid for this deck, but just didn't find room for it this time around. Anyways, thank you guys for watching, as always, and I'll see you in the next video.